Owners, welcome to In the North Bank. This is the weekly review. So, Merry Christmas, Gooners. Really pleased just after Christmas. It's been a great time for everyone to kind of get around again and get near their loved ones and stuff from the previous year where it wasn't really possible. Certainly, if you're doing things the right way, as guidance was, but. Yeah, we were able to get around the dinner table with all our families and try and celebrate as best as we can in the aftermath of what's happened in this 2 years. I know I've had a few ups and downs with family members' healths, which obviously is the same with a huge number of people across the UK, across the world. Send my love and best wishes to all of you guys. It's not an easy time of year for some, certainly dealing with the loss of loved ones. So what can make things slightly better? Well, certainly a football club that is playing some decent stuff now, and you can slowly see a plan, and I've always kind of said, be careful where these kind of real kind of high profile, loud voices are trying to take the club. It isn't going to be a quick fix. We know it's a massive project, so why we would think that really kind of just ripping up the project straight away and then suddenly getting in someone else will suddenly bring so much change that there's no quick success. There's no shortcut. There's no cheat mode on it. We're not a football game. It's not a football game. It's real life, and we have to understand where we are now and where we are aiming to be. At this moment, we're not there, but we are getting there. To see some of the performances recently has been very pleasing. Having the same side near enough has also helped, and so I can see lots of good things about that, because it means that the players are understanding what Arteta's trying to get them to do, and all round they're learning from each other. And once they start learning properly how to play with each other, the combinations and just the way that they roam around the pitch together, who does what, only through games will you actually get that real proper understanding. So I'm really pleased. I'm gutted that there's no game tonight. I was due to go down to the Emirates, so it's a shame. But again, we take a little break. We get ready for Man City on New Year's Day, and we start 2022. So it's a long week again. As I say, we're starting the week before the Christmas period. Away at Leeds, Ellen Road. I said this is a real, or it potentially could have been a tricky game, only by knowing the actual atmosphere at Ellen Road. It's going to be real kind of boisterous. It's going to be real loud, and if Leeds play the way they can play. It turned out that they've obviously been struggling with injuries as well as other things. So it was a weakened side, but you can't take anything away from the way we played, going away to them. So to come away with a 4-1 win was really pleasing. So you have to beat those teams. You have to beat those teams. What's around you, and again, there's no excuse to say, oh, that they're nobodies. They haven't got this player, that player, or whatever. Every team is dangerous, and if we don't apply ourselves, then we're in trouble. We don't deserve to win football matches. You don't win football matches by just turning up. So you've got to beat what's in front of you. And yeah, we started off really, really well and sharp. Martinelli, Saka had a real early chance that it just put wide, and it was a simple finish. 9 times out of 10, that's in the net. But it was an early touch. It was an early chance, and he put it wide. But we created decent chances in that game. We had around 20, 25 shots, I think, on goal. So yeah, I just think it was a decent performance. The weather was rubbish, just like it is today. We've had an absolute ridiculous amount of rain over Christmas, which has made it a little bit worse. Normally it's a bit drier but cold, but it's just been very, very wet and floods everywhere. Just a stinky night that was. But yeah, we controlled the game well. We sat back a little bit in the second half, mainly for the fact that at 3-0, do we need to chase it? Do we need to really kind of do huge amounts? And yeah, there were still chances for us to add to it. But then, yeah, we gave away the penalty. And yeah, it was a silly tackle by White. And a penalty. Yeah, there was no two ways about that. There was no debate. And yeah, it was a great penalty for Rafinha to score with 15 minutes left. But again, Smith Rowe just doing what he does, just when he comes on, when he's needed. We're seeing some real good link up play with the guys, and yeah, scores a goal to make it 4-1, and yeah, game over. But you can see certainly from that performance how well we play, and that's through the centre, through the midfield, and we're starting to get that link up play, and this is something I questioned a while ago, where it's great when we're, say, playing through defence from Ramsdale into the midfield, but then when it gets to the latter third, the one that matters, we seem to struggle getting into those advanced areas and linking up play for us to get chances, and there was no surprise why we'd struggled to score goals, because that's what was happening. There was no real connection between the midfield and the strikers, and coincidentally, I don't want to believe it, but you look at the performances since Aubameyang has not been in the side, we seem like a totally different team. And you look at, we've scored 14 goals in the last 3 games now. All right, we've played a team 2 divisions below, but we've got we've got to get beat those players. They were well up for it, so we've got to make sure we get on and do it. But it's just really strange how everything seems to have just clicked into gear when that change has happened, and you do have to ask questions, and you've got to just look at it and you think, well, maybe that is right. There's nothing wrong with what Arteta's done. Yeah, people saying, he shouldn't have outed him in public. What's he to do if he doesn't actually say what it is? People are going to be in his head saying, I think you're mad. Why are you not picking your captain? Why are you not picking the guy that's on 300 grand a week? So you look at it like that and you think he's done right to do it. And I say, it doesn't seem like it was a one-off or twice happening. I think that there's been a constant issue with them. So yeah, 100% vindicated in what he's done, Arteta, and it takes a brave man to do that. It would take a very experienced manager some balls to actually do that or make that decision. And being a young manager with everything on the line, he's done it, and we're seeing good things. And yeah, I just think that it's opened up a new birth now of Arsenal, and where we look to rebuild. We got Lacazette, which will be the captain going into the rest of the season. No questions about that. I think he'll stay there. The big key is, will he sign the contract? And I don't think he will. I think there's been too much time where he's been struggling, being demotivated by not getting the game time. So I think it might be a good fitting time. Certainly if Arsenal do well and he has a good end to the season, then he gets a move elsewhere where he can start again and go again, get a contract somewhere else where he is valued a bit more than what he is at Arsenal. And I think he is valued at Arsenal. I just think that they don't want to pen too much time in the future with him, and keep him say to that 1 year, because they've got targets in mind which they wanna bring on. But yeah, the big key is what happens after that, really. But we'll worry about that a little bit later. But we then take on Sunderland in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. I was there in the upper tier with my family, and yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Certainly being just to the side of the away fans, and yeah, it was a strange atmosphere, to be honest. They were well up for it, and it was one of those where you have to see what we bring to the table and whether or not our fans actually get behind the team. And it was a struggle early on. I think it was a little bit. There was a little bit of nerves and a little bit of I don't know, just to get everyone getting up for the game, which I don't think we did to start with. But eventually we got in there and we hit the bar before Nketiah scored his first. But yeah, Pepe then put in that second. Another deflection, a little bit of luck on that. Could easily have gone over the bar or gone wide. But yeah, their goal was well worked though. 4 minutes later, which really put it a little bit nervy. In all honesty, yeah, you saw that coming, and they were getting a bit more and more dangerous as they were going. They seemed to get a bit more confidence, and yeah, they were up for a battle, and they had the fans behind them as well, and yeah, Broadhead finished the ball really well from going forward. But you take that 2-1 into half time, and yeah, when you need to calm nerves and actually get things done, and that's what we needed to do, get it done early. Yeah, and Nketiah pops up with another little flick from Tavares' cross, and yeah, it was a good finish, and it was a similar finish to his hat trick goal over on the other side with Pepe nutmegging the defender. He sent an RIP to that defender. He was sold. So it was a brilliant move all the way through that, and the little flick was really good. And again, I'll go into it later, but yeah, he'll be a big miss as well, because I'll go into that later. But yeah, we kept battling, and so did Sunderland, and they dug in, and yeah, we were in control, keeping possession. We had Xhaka there; he was knocking the ball around and was making things tick. And this is again the issue that I've said we've missed for a while, where we didn't have that kind of body in the middle that would just keep the ball ticking. And again, he gets labelled with he always plays sideways passes, he always does this, he's a liability, he's everything. But then you just look at it, and you can see all the way through these games, since he's come back, he's given 100%. He's 90 minutes every game, and these games he's playing forward passes, he's had a couple assists. So there's more to just this guy, and I just think it's all a little bit misguided, and yeah, people have a bee in the bonnets about him, and it's not the way. And he's come out in the press as well this last week, and yeah, I just think he's tarnished with a brush. Loses his head. He come out today and said, when he got sent off one time, the ref had told one of the teammates that it's granite. He loses his head. I said, well, yeah, all right, well, that doesn't mean he loses his head every single game. So that means every single tackle he goes over the edge, that is deemed punishable, or more punishable than others. So yeah, I think reputation is massive when it comes to, say, like someone like him. As soon as you go in for one 50-50 tackle, it's deemed different to someone else. You look at, say, someone like a Harry Kane or something. That tackle that he come in against Liverpool, again, a Xhaka challenge. That's escalated so quickly that's probably a red card. But yeah, it's one of those. It's very weird, but no, it was a job well done, and yeah, 5-1 in a quarter final, whoever it's against is decent enough. So yeah, we'll take that, and we've got drawn against Liverpool in a 2-legged semi-final, and that gets played after the Man City game the following week. So I'll be down there again, cheering on the lads. So yeah, it'll be a tough game, but we'll have to see what lineup they put up, and then certainly what lineup we put up. But going back to the Sunderland game, yeah, we were in control, but we then brought on another youngster, Charlie Patino, and 18 years old. He scores his first goal for the club. So yeah, I'm really pleased for the young man. It's real nervy to be starting your career, but also such a buzzing time to do it as well. He knows he's got people who have done that in front of him and have been given the chance. So he doesn't have to worry about that. He just has to concentrate on doing the one thing, and that's making sure that he does the business on the pitch, wherever he plays for the under 23s or he comes into the first team. and if he takes his chances, then there is a chance. So yeah, I think there's a lot of decent performances there, and yeah, I think there is a real huge future for a lot of these guys. So we just have to keep going, and yeah, there's going to be bumpy bumpy things in the road, and we know they're going to come. We've just got to accept that, and it's the end of the day. They're going to come, but we need to actually understand that we can't be too overzealous in what we do. Yeah, we don't like losing. It's not nice to lose, but we're going to lose. It's part and parcel of the game. We're not at the top yet, so there are going to be times where we lose, but let's not be too over the top in what we say. Just because we lose a game doesn't mean we have to say, yeah, let's have change. Let's have change. But it was just silly. But yeah, we got fat on Christmas dinner and all the Christmas food, and then on Boxing Day we make a trip to Norwich, and yeah, again another game where you suddenly think, again, yeah, all right, they've been battered by teams, but they're fighting to stay in the league. They've got a new manager in, and again the weather atrocious, and yeah, got a crowd in there that will get behind Norwich, but the way we started again dictated how that game went, and we scored within 6 minutes, creating chances, and yeah, just really good. We got ahead. We controlled possession. We then got a goal just before half time with Kieran Tierney, who's starting to now look like the Kieran Tierney at the start of his Arsenal career, where he was bombing forward, but with purpose. Towards the latter part, before he got injured, those runs, it just seemed to be he was just very leggy and very worn down, and it was all getting a bit predictable and nothing really happening. So by the time he'd come forward, he's got to try and get back, and yeah, he couldn't do it. And we saw that against Everton away, where he come back and he got caught upfield and couldn't get back because he was done, he was cooked, and he got replaced by Tavares late on in that game, and that was that. But we're starting to slowly see him, I think, come back to that kind of level where he was showing some real good performances and some solid performances there. So this is what it is. These guys need games, and they need constant games to get better and better. And yeah, eventually that will come along. We're seeing Martinelli as well, and Martinelli again was another one with Arteta lambasted for just not being played. And it's you look at it, and it's I don't think Arteta was wrong to do what he's done. You look at Martinelli and the prospect he is. He's very young. He's had a knee injury. Just because, yeah, all right, he is okay. He's back to fitness, blah blah blah. Is he match fit? Is he match physically fit? Can he step up and get onto a pitch against the rough and tumble of some defenders that he's going to be up against? And I think he is sometimes a bit too lightweight. He does get knocked around a bit, and yeah, it isn't great to see. And when he did come back on for a couple of performances early on, he did look a little bit out of sorts. It didn't look right. Didn't really get in the game. But again, he's waited. Yeah, he's had another, say, 3 months of kind of getting that match fitness, biding his time, keeping fresh, and there's no breakdowns. There's no real niggly knocks. He's had a couple of whacks, and it looks like he'd appeared to have maybe been out or written himself out because he'd been taken off. But it looked like through an injury. But each game he's come back and he's got in there. 2 goals against Leeds. You can't knock that. And he's come back and he's really showing what he can do. So I'm really impressed by how he's come back. And yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm just buzzing about the whole youth of the team. And if anyone can't get behind this group of lads, then they need to do something else. They need to follow another sport or something. I don't know. I don't get it. You've got to be excited about what it is that we've got in front of us. The idea now, or the main thing now, we need to do is make sure that these guys are around 6 years down the line, because we can't be building these players up and having them as they are to then say 2-3 years down the line still be in a similar situation, and they're thinking, where's the ambition? We've seen that before, haven't we? And so you look at it like that and you think, yeah, we've got to show ambition, and we've got to work to move on and increase what we've got to help those guys. Because yeah, Smith Rowe scoring again against Norwich, Saka getting 2, Lacazette scoring a penalty, and yeah, 14 goals in 3 games after ridiculously low numbers of goals, and another clean sheet. So yeah, there's lots to be good and pleased about, and that's the main thing. And coming into the new year, I want to be positive, and yeah, we've got to move on and do what we do best, and that is try and get behind the team. And yeah, as I say, not an easy start to 2022. Man City, then we've got the Nottingham Forest away in the FA Cup. We'll go on to that in a moment, but yeah, it's definitely a tricky time. But they are the games from the week. So yeah, the league situation with regards to COVID is becoming worse, I would say, by the week now. Up to Boxing Day, yeah, the league had come out and said there's a record 103 Premier League players and staff that tested positive in that 7 days up to Boxing Day. So it goes to show that those numbers are creeping up. 90 was the previous one. So you look at it and you think, if it does carry on going on, where does it end? Where does this whole kind of, they're going to finish the season, and they voted on finishing the season and getting it all done and dusted. Where does it go? How many more are going to be postponed, and when are these games going to be played? So yeah, it's going to be a real interest time. I don't know. We've got to factor in when these games are going to get played, and again, is there any knock-on effects to the season after? You look at the World Cup in December. I don't know. It's an early start of the season, and I think, well, it's not an early finish, I don't believe, but an early start to the season to counter for a mid-season break. But yeah, if this continues to be as it is, then there's going to be some big trouble for some clubs, and whether or not they'll have to forfeit games, I don't know. Again, this is the key now. already seen Tottenham have the 3-0 forfeit in the in European Conference League. Does that happen in the Premier League now? Because there's no real way of being able to do it. Certainly, if this goes on another couple of months, and we're still seeing teams that are still trying to catch up, then have more games. So that they then got to play, say, 5 games in hand in the normal calendar year, when Europe starts and everything like that. I don't know when those games are going to get played. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's COVID for you, and yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, but we move on. So yeah, coming into the last 3 days of the year, and obviously the transfer window is nearly there, and you just think, what is going to happen with the current squad, and are we going to get any players in? Are we going to get any, or aren't any players going to leave in this window? Yeah, I know there's a couple of rumours doing the rounds, certainly today and yesterday, about Maitland-Niles. It looks like apparently a loan deal has been agreed to join Roma. I don't know whether or not that means that they'll have a buy later kind of price to do it after the loan for the season, or is it just to give Ainsley some game time, which he badly needs. He needs to get playing, because there is still that chance that he might get that call for England going into that World Cup into the next year, and he wants to get that sorted as well. So I can see why that would potentially happen, because he does need to play, and he's come in. I think we've said it before. I don't think he is a central midfielder. And as I say, I think that position of the right wing back was probably his position. He should have said, right, okay, I don't care where I'm playing, I want to play. And if he would have had that attitude, I think even Sam Allardyce had come out and said that. That's one real good bit of stuff I've heard come out of his mouth, where he actually spoke to Maitland-Niles when he was at West Brom, and they had the conversation and said, what should I do? He said, well, wherever you'll play. And that's as simple as that. Just play where you played. And yeah, I don't think you can. You can't really kind of just cherry pick a position and think that you can play there, or say you want to play there when it's not there. The main thing is actually playing. Do that role, do that well. If you do that well, then you'll still be in, and you'll be playing week in, week out. And he was putting in some decent performances. So yeah, I can see him going on loan just for the game time side of things. We lose El Neni in the midfield, along with Partey. So yeah, it does leave and also Lukonga as well. Oh no, not Lukonga, sorry. So it does leave Xhaka, Smith Rowe, Sambi, and Odegaard. With Smith Rowe, did I say Smith Rowe? As our midfielders. But again, does it mean that he kind of mixes it up a little bit? I don't know. Do we see a Ben White maybe come into midfield for a couple of games? I don't know. Be interesting to see, but I wouldn't have thought there'd be a huge change like that. But it goes to show Ben White, he did play right back at the weekend, on Boxing Day, but can he play in a central midfield role? Can he play in a holding a central midfield role. I don't know. We potentially, he's got the ball carrying skills and he can tackle. But I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see on that and how it shapes up. But again, do we need another midfielder in? Leads on to another rumour that seems to be getting stronger and stronger, is that if you read certain reports, that we've agreed a deal to sign Coutinho from Barcelona. I can't get my head around that. Still, I'm not sure with the amount of money that he would be probably coming in on. I don't see the logic in it. In all honesty, it's not the kind of player that I think we are struggling for. We've got Odegaard, we've got Smith Rowe. Yeah, I don't know. It's really tricky. Coutinho, has the ship sailed with him now? Great for Liverpool, but again, has he done huge amounts at Barcelona? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe a bit unfair on him because of how Barcelona have collapsed. But yeah, I don't know. It also leads to Bernd Leno. Will he go? I don't think he's going to go in January, but yeah, I look at the summer. He probably is wanting to go and seek first team football because he'll want to play. It would have hurt him being upset by Ramsdale. So you have that, and you look at Suarez and Kolasinac. Kolasinac is injured. Does he get sold? I don't think so because obviously he's injured. I don't think a team will want to buy him. So yeah, I think we're left defender. Why? I think we'll be staying as we are. I don't think we'll see too many changes. Maybe Pablo Mari might go. There was talk that he was going to go back to South America. So I don't know. We'll have to see on that. But yeah, I can only see him leaving in January. I could potentially see El Neni moving on. I don't think in January because I think he'll be too involved with African nations. So I reckon he probably will find himself moving on in the summer. And yeah, we come into the attack side and you look at it, we've got 6 listed strikers in our squad. Lacazette, Aubameyang, Pepe, Balogun, Nketiah and Martinelli. 5 of those have been linked with moving away from Arsenal in the next 6 months. So goes to show that there's a massive issue potentially for Arteta, where we've got to understand what is going to happen moving forward. Obviously Nketiah's contract runs out in the summer. Arteta's come out and said Nketiah, he wants him to stay, but Nketiah wants the football, he wants to play. Balogun, again, I don't think he's ready. If I was to pick a player out of the two, Balogun or Nketiah, I'd keep Nketiah because I don't think Balogun is ready for first team as well as he's done in 23s. It's not the same gravy. He needs to go and play, and I'd almost do like what Nketiah did when he went to Leeds. Just go there and play a season and show what he can do. Whether or not that's at a lower level Premier League side or in the Championship. The Championship would probably be a better way of doing it, because I don't think playing as a striker, as a young striker for a struggling team in the Premier League, will really do him any good, confidence-wise or anything. So you then look at Aubameyang. Is he going to go in January? I think there seems to be a lot of movement. I don't know. His agent's coming out. His brother is coming out. It's almost like another Anelka situation with him. A little cryptic kind of messages on social media. So yeah, I don't know. I could see him going in January, but then I can also see no one really wanting to prize away money in January. So wait until the summer. Lacazette again is obviously out of contract in the summer. Is he going to renew? I don't know. The captaincy again used as a carrot seems to be the only thing now we do to offer a player to stay, to get him to sign a contract, is giving him the captain's armband. Not taking anything away from him. He's fantastic with the young players in the squad, but again, it's another player that's going to earn another contract at a better value, and we've seen where that's gone. The last two captains, performances have dipped, and they've signed whacking contracts. Not so much of Ozil. Ozil wasn't the captain, but again, he was. There's another one where got signed a contract. We lost the other one to Sanchez to United. He signed a contract because he stayed, and Arsenal lost their confidence and the nerve, and they just said, we can't afford to lose both of them, and just paid the earth for Ozil. And the way it transpired with Ozil, I was always a fan of Ozil. I liked him as a player. I didn't believe that he needed to be a player that needed to run around and cover every blade of grass, press everywhere and do it. All he needed to do was to make sure he actually was there in those spaces to receive a pass, to then move the ball on and do the stuff that he's so good at, and that's the creating the chances. But when he was picking up the ball on the edge of his area, too deep for a player like that to be able to then go and affect the game up the pitch. So it was one of those things where it was it weren't a good fit in the end. The way Arsenal, or the way that the play of how they were playing changed, and it wasn't suiting Ozil and a player like Ozil. And again, other reasons as well. Again, it looks like he got demotivated and didn't really want to do it, but he seemed a likeable character in the dressing room because players were supporting him. So he's one of those, but that's Ozil. But we look at it like this: it's another contract situation where we're carrot dangling again, and I'm not sure that's the best way forward. But as a whole, I think I'm happy with the squad. I'm happy to not sign anyone this year. We know there's still big impetus on getting rid of a few players in that squad. You can look at, say, if Leno does go, we then look at another replacement goalkeeper. You could say Chambers maybe moving on, Mari moving on, Kolasinac moving on. You then look at El Neni, Xhaka again. He was in everyone's favourite list to be gone. He hasn't. He's dug in and he's come in and he's shown what a good player he can be. So I don't expect him to go. So midfield stays where it is. Maitland-Niles will go on loan. Whether or not that is next season a full-time move, who knows. Pepe, I think his time is done. If only he could just get that forward, direct feeling in the way he moves. It almost feels like he's just playing with not a lot of confidence. Certainly one-on-one, certainly in the Premier League, and you suddenly think he's almost runs without the brain, and he just stops and he just freezes and then just gets tackled, and he thinks about it too much. Whereas if he uses his pace and his skill to get past players, he could be a good player. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether or not it may be a case that with all the others that are potentially leaving, and like I say, we could have Lacazette, Aubameyang and Nketiah all leaving the club, which would then leave just Pepe, Balogun, who is going to go on loan, I guess, in January, and Martinelli. So there's going to be a huge move to get a striker in if that happens. So that's why I think Pepe probably will get another year, and I need to check on the contracts. I'll probably do another video on that, on the contract side of things for these players as well, and see where we are, because yeah, it's a very worrying part of our squad. But yeah, moving on to 2021, how it actually was for Arsenal. I think we've had a decent year in the actual calendar year. Some real good numbers points wise, and yeah, I think there's been some rocky parts, but again we finished it strongly into the year, and we build on for 2022. So that's all we can really go on. Really, going to keep working, keep building on it, and eventually it will come good, and we'll actually see further movement going into 2022, and that's all we've got to focus on. And if we can actually make sure that we are in that position, and if we are playing games and we're ahead of other teams, make sure we win those games, get the points on the board, and if anyone else has got to play X amount of games in X amount of days, then let them crack on, get the 3 points, get it done, get the job done, and then let the other teams worry about what they've got to do and the struggles they've got to do. And if the league doesn't sort it out, they've got to come up with a new strategy. You can't have a team with 6 games in hand or whatever like that. It's going to be ridiculous. So yeah, 6 games in hand's too much. Let's start voiding the games and making them so they're actually 3-0 defaults for the team that's had the failing. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say on this. But yeah, goodbye 2021. Hello 2022. We are the Arsenal. This is in the North Bank, and you've been watching the weekly show. Cheers, guys.